more analysis on this now from Ian Hutchinson, who joins us from Cambridge, Massachusetts in the US. He's a professor of nuclear science and engineering at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Great to speak to you, Ian. Thanks for joining us. So for those of us who aren't experts, many of us, I suspect, in simple terms, what is fusion, briefly, and what are the benefits of it?
Fusion is the energy source of the stars. It's a type of nuclear reaction in which light elements, like hydrogen, are fused together to make heavier elements, and this releases energy. In a certain sense, it's the opposite of the nuclear energy that we currently use on Earth, which is fission energy, which is taking heavy elements like uranium with many nucleons in their nucleus and breaking them up and getting energy. The big advantage of fusion is that it has potentially far greater energy resources. It has far less radiation or waste associated with it. But there are many challenges. It's much harder to make fusion reactions take place than it is fission reactions.
And what are the hopes for this particular project? And if it works, could it be replicated elsewhere?
Well, this particular project, which is called a Tokamak, it's a toroidal device, a donut-shaped device with a hole down the middle, makes the plasma, so-called, very, very hot gas, which is required to make the fusion reactions take place. It confines that with a magnetic field, very strong magnetic field, and heats it to the point where those reactions take place. And the name of the game is to have more reactions take place than can leak the energy out of that imperfect confinement device. And so Iter is the latest in this particular generic type of experiment, of which there have been many, many tens actually over history. One of them was at our own institution, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and we're delighted to see our research come to be incorporated into a big device like this. But the reason it's so big is to make it big enough so that the energy doesn't leak out before those reactions can take place.
Well, it's obviously a very challenging form of energy generation, but if it works, could it replace other forms of energy generation?
Well, my own view is that the challenge of energy for humankind on Earth is great enough, so there's probably a place for all sorts of different forms of energy, including renewable, sustainable energies, but importantly, particularly energies which don't produce carbon dioxide and which don't produce large amounts of waste. If fusion can be made to work on Earth in a way that it will generate electricity, for example, this will certainly play an important role in the future. But because it's so difficult, Iter itself is only an experiment. Iter isn't going to put electricity on the grid or anything like that. It's a scientific experiment, the fruit of many decades of research that people like me around the world have been doing. And as such, it's a collaborative experiment, arguably the largest experiment that humankind has ever undertaken.
Okay, thanks very much indeed for your insight, Ian Hutchinson.